here again. Did you miss me? Come on. Yeah.
It's Bernie the Box, the block of the gossip, ready to lock and load. Letting the truth be told, so check out this episode.
Hit you with the hard facts.
Be getting it all cracked if you ain't got the knowledge and the sweet spines.
Fall back.
Call it bluff, they quick to scream, pull up, fool. Have some goons in the old school.
Parked inside your living room.
Dudes be taking the news for the sake of raising the
Yeah.
what propaganda. Stay tuned, let's talk boxing.
No job, no gossip.
You want the facts, get it first.
From Bernie the Boxer.
The mother podcast trash.
Come on. Yeah. Is you lying to yourself? You gotta eat, sleep, breathe this to understand. If you ain't, then you ain't a genuine boxer. Get your news from the not these fools about who could be, who doing what, and never felt the pain. Yeah, come on. Let's go. Just agree to log on. No job, no gossip. From Bernie the Boxer. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. It's Bernie the Boxer. Come on. To the Bernie the Boxer podcast show. Oh. About what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. You hear that beat, baby? Oh my God. Did you hear that beat? Oh my God. Okay, shout out to my boy Steve Penn for that wonderful introduction song, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. It's Super Sunday. Man, it's yours truly. It's Bernie the Boxer. I say, did you miss me? Come on. I know it's been a long time coming, man, but you know the kid been on the road. You understand? You know what I'm talking about, man. We've been in that gym, man, gritting and grinding. You understand? And you say hard work do pay off. You know, shout out to my boy Lester Martinez, you hear me? With that 4th round knockout. Shout out to my boy Lolo Harris from the Dino, you hear me? Putting on for the hometown. Then you know we had the head of DB3, Night Davis, putting on the shutout. You understand? Stop that boy, man. Beat that man from pillar to post, man. Made him stiff like, you hear me? Okay, shout out to the guy. So anyway, you already know what I've been doing. What y'all been doing? Appreciate everybody in the chat again. Like I say, it's yours truly. It's Bernie the Boxer. All right. Super Sunday, man. You know, of course, like I say, you know, kid been working, but it was imperative that I come and say something. I had to, you know, get my thoughts together, and here he is, you know. So I wrote me some notes again because I'm trying to get back on my Grizzly. I got the nice little setup joint. You don't even know how I got the phone hanging, going crazy right now, so I'm feeling pretty good. You know, went to service today, turned up at the church, man. Felt so good, man. Like I say, it's Super Sunday. And I want to give a super shout out to my wife, man, you know, and because and how God is, you know. First, let me give him thanks. You know, with Super Sunday, you know, man, I was feeling kind of under the weather for real, you know. Get out of town, come back home from ripping and running, and then just want to sit down. And the weather was not good, and I just wanted to sit in that bed and watch that television, man. But my wife said she was going to church. The kids was excited, said they was going to church. I said, well, I got to go to church. So I went to church, everything worked out. And then that man, the Lord was in there, boy. They was praising, they was shouting, boy. They was singing. Man, you know, oh, man. So I just want to thank the Lord for everything you're doing for me, for everything you're doing for the team, for everything, you know, how you just moving in my life. And like I say, super shout out to my wife, man. Boy, I'm telling you, how he moved through her. I want to chill. I swear to God. He said, come on, man. Talk to him through the wife, man. So shout out to my wife. Appreciate her. You understand? Okay. All right, so now we're going to talk some boxing. Appreciate everybody. Town Biz. Hey, Town Biz, I was just watching that movie last night, bro. Come on, you know they said your name in the movie, bro. La D, my girl, Just a Guy. You hear me? Yes. Appreciate you, Just a Guy. You already know La D, the usual suspects. But anyway, Town Biz, listen. So they said only thing going on in Oakland is the blackening, the movie. Come on, bro. Now I don't know nobody from Oakland or that way, but Town Biz. Shout out to Town Biz. Okay. So anyway, like I say, I did some notes, and you know what I mean? I wanted to kind of have this a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? What you call that? Man, I'm messing up my mind. You know what I mean? In order, in sync. Okay, so let's talk about fights last night. Easy, I'm working. Shout out to my boy Prentice Brewer, man. You know what I'm saying? Tiger just did his thing last night. Stopped that boy, got the knockout, moved up to 147. and did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Tiger. Shout out to Apprentice Brewer, one of the newest, hottest young trainers in the game. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, like I say, but anyway, we had the main event was the girls last night. Now I love the girls too. I ain't gonna lie, but to me, the main event was the guys. Now the guys, you know what I'm saying? Who was talking about was Brian Norman and the Cuevas kid. Now Brian Norman is coming now. I done said that now. I done said that now. I done said that now. And it's funny, I think about that. You know, you see, he knocked that boy out 3 rounds. And man, Brian Norman. It's funny how it's crazy because I'm just the craziest type of guy. You know, I'm just silly as hell. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just a cold stone fool. You know, like I said, you know, I talk a lot of stuff about Brian Norman. And not really much. Like, I respect him, you know. And one thing you got to respect about Brian Norman is he got power. He got power. He got some power in them fists, man. And he just a rugged type of guy, man. He didn't, you know, like I say, he come through, he knocked that boy out. That's what they want to see, knockouts, man. And it wasn't the most pretty victory, but he stopped that boy, man. He hurt that boy. Now, I read the comments, you know, everybody going to the comments, and they was talking about how Tim Bradley and them was, I thought they was saying, thought he seen what I seen. I thought Brian Norman got stunned. I thought that kid got stunned. And that dude came out with poise. That kid came out with a lot of poise. You know what I mean? And it almost made me wonder, you know, a lot of guys, we don't know their names or haven't heard of them. But like I say, they in the shadows grinding, you know. And like I say, that guy, he made it up the ranking somehow. But Brian Norman power just different. Because he had good power too. And I was wondering if he was going to score the upset and shock him. Because it was looking like he was catching him with his hook. And it was, you know, it was a good little fight. It was a tit for tat thing. But Brian Norman stepped up. He changed his game plan up a little bit and made adjustments and, you know, didn't load up with the right hand, catching that man with the hook. And a nice jab. He hit him with the 2-1. Lord Jesus, I'm telling you, where did 2-1 come from? I don't know too many 2-1s. I don't remember Marvin had 2-1 come from this town. 2-1 come from us. That's a CW thing. You understand? The 2-1, come on, Lil Bernie did that his own. You understand? Crawford perfected it. You understand? Knocked out Spence with the 2, knocked him down with the 2-1. And like I say, the 2-1 coming up. Troy Isley do the 2-1. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the 2-1. You feel me? But that boy hit him with the 2-1. Brian Norman hit him with the 2-1. Man said, no, I'm done. Boy, he walked around. He thought about it. He thought about it too. He thought, man, should I do it? Man, them punches was coming. Them 8-ounce gloves, because they had 47. Brian Norman, he got the equalizer. Brian Norman, the hardest puncher at 147. I done said it. Brian Norman, the hardest puncher at 147. Shout out to Brian Norman and Norman Sr. You feel me? Doing their thing out of Georgia. You hear me? Brian Norman ain't scared of no boots. You crazy now. Now I wanted to say that before I get off. Nah. The fella, when he win the title, he's supposed to make some money with the title. No. And that's it. If you don't understand that, leave boxing alone. The man's supposed to make money off the title first. At least a couple of fights. You got to give him a couple of fights before you throw him in there with a high-class guy like Boots. Some guy, you know, come on, man. This is the business. That's what I wanted to say, too, though. I want to say, I got that on my list, too, though. This is the business. I was thinking they was talking about Shoo, and I wanted to say that. The way they was talking about my guy. Actually, they was talking about Lester. They was talking about Steven. Listen, first of all, they don't even build fighters the way they used to build them no more. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different game. It's a popularity thing. It's a who's who. You know what I mean? On top of your boxing ability. So it's everything, and that shit out in the open now. Probably back in the day, we didn't understand that. We didn't realize that. But now it's out in the open. You know what I mean? So Steven got his opportunity a little too late. You feel me? He couldn't get that Berlanga fight years ago when Berlanga was hot and making noise. You understand? He couldn't get that fight, and which is a shorter guy, a closer range. You know, even actually a better fighter, not as good a fighter as Diego. So he had to take the hard road and fought Pacheco, which he put up a hell of a fight and had to go through some adversities. You understand? So you can't say nothing about it. Then you got a guy like Lester that's knocking guys out. You feel me? He's a what would you say, a Latin American prodigy? He beat Adames. He beat a lot of these top guys as world champions in the amateurs. You know what I mean? And everybody praising the amateurs, what they did in the amateurs. So he beat a lot of these guys in these Caribbean tournaments that Americans, y'all motherfuckers don't know. So shout out to Lester Martinez. You feel me? Number 2 in the world at 168. You feel me? So that was for old boy on the Boxing Voice talking shit about Lester Martinez. Yeah. Okay. So like I say, and when you come with these guys now, they moving them guys. That's what they doing. They getting the shot. Now Lester, he 20-0. Feel me? He 20-0. So pipe down, my boy. Pipe down. You understand? Do your research first. You understand? These guys is imported in, just like the Cubans, huh? It's talent all around. You hear me? Not just Cuba, silly motherfucker. But anyway, before I get off task, like I say, this is a business. So of course Brian Norman, no, they ain't gonna. You should have paid him an arm and a leg to get that title because Brian Norman probably was one of the most formidable fighters and probably one of the most greenest because he just came on the scene. Barrios already been fighting at a high level, already had interim championships at smaller weights, and that really it. Barrios. Everybody else is who else was it? Stanionis. He still ain't proven. He ain't fought nobody. Everybody hyping Stanionis. Who Stanionis be for real? Since we talking, who Stanionis be for real? All right. Like I say, based off the eye test, right? All right. So anyway, but Brian Norman, like I say, he's coming, he's growing. He's the youngest of the group, pretty much. And anyway, he got that equalizer. Shout out to Brian Norman. So then we had Michaela Mayer getting with Sandy Ryan, which was supposed to be a revenge type of thing. We had the incident with the girl getting the paint thrown on her. Who did that dumbass shit? I don't know. I can't say it was her or not. You know what I mean? But it could have been somebody different, just how they did Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Baranchek that did drop the fruit. It probably was T.O. I don't know. But anyway, you just never know who could have did that. You don't know where it came from. So anyway, that was the little mix up. But I think Michaela won the fight more clear this time. I think it was a easier fight for her this time. It was a good fight though. Sandy Ryan good. If I could say anything about Michaela though, I just think Shorty, she got some good combination and she's going to the body with both hands, which a lot of fellas don't do. But she got to start stepping over when she done punching. I'm talking to you, that's my girl. We tight like that, but she got to step over when she done punching. But anyway, tremendous victory for her. I seen the girl that she fighting, Lauren Price. They showed some clips of her. She looked sturdy as hell, slick. Counter punch, had some fast hands and sturdy as hell. Lauren Price, I don't. Hey, they all in the lower weight division. I'm not necessarily one of the keep up with all of them. Sinisa was my favorite outside of Clarissa Shields, but so anyway, she coming with. A lot of people don't know her. Lauren Price, you got to step up with these women because they bringing the heat. They was talking about that too last night, talking about the girls bringing the heat. Well, they do. They really don't got no chance. They can't really duck no wreck because it don't pay to fight indescript opponents. That's not going to bring the fight to you. That's going to be easy walkover fights. They need competitive fights, which I think all women fights is competitive unless the one girl just get whooped. Because women like to scrap it. I don't know why, but they do. They get down. They don't have no fear in there. Shout out to the women's boxing. Okay, shout out to Michaela Mayer defending the championship. Hope she in the future get the shot at the undisputed title. Like I say, she feeling out she's a 5'10". That's a great size for a welterweight. But damn, babe, we gotta step it up. We gotta go to 3-round. We gotta go 3-minute rounds. We gotta go to 3-minute round, 12 minutes. Come on now. We gotta step it up. You letting them Serranos and them do that. That's what they're outshining them. You understand? They fighting harder. They fight longer. You know what I mean? And man, I ain't gotta say pause because we talking about girls. Okay, you understand? So, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? They gotta step out there. Like, man, come on, why McCain ain't fighting in 12 rounders and 3-minute rounds? It's time to step it up. Women want equal rights. Step up, then. All right. So then we had appreciate everybody in the chat. Don't worry, we coming to the chat section. But then we had Tevin Farmer going up against Zepeda in a rematch, and I didn't watch the fight because I didn't have the zone. I was watching Top Rank fights. But, yeah, man. Tevin Farmer lost, close fighter. He's a good fighter. I thought he hold a lot, too. Man, Zepeda, when you in there with a black fighter, though, it's going to be different. You know what I'm saying? If the pressure don't work, you up in an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? You up in an uphill battle if the pressure don't work. And that's usually the Mexican way is to break them down with the pressure. That's just the basic way is the pressure. We usually tend to box on the back foot, try to score the points. The Mexican fighter usually coming forward, bringing the heat. And if the black fighter ain't in enough shape or can't take the heat, he usually get mowed down, outworked, whatever, what have you. But like I say, Tevin Farmer, I don't think he be winning them fights so clear. I appreciate him as a fighter because he a real fighter. He a fella that learned on a job and he kept grinding and kept going and he made it to the world championship. And that was it, and now I want to say it like that's it. But again, he's a good fighter, a good defensive fighter, but he just can't seem to make it to get over that hump, to make it past that big one. But he is one of those guys that's a sturdy challenge and given the right opponent, he's gonna win. But he didn't come up winning, and I don't know how much chances they gonna get, because at the same time, with these favorite guys, you can't just gotta beat them, you gotta outright beat them. And so I don't know where that lead Tevin Farmer, but shout out to him. Keep going. At least he making some money. He ain't got to be in no factory working or doing something else. He's still doing what he loves and he doing it at a high level. And I'm talking about Farmer, my boy, Cardio TV. Talking about Cardio TV. I'm talking about Farmer. Like I say, fighting on a high level, fighting for on a big stage and getting paid good money. And he got a lot of respect. And in this world, all you gonna have is your respect. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my boy Tevin Farmer. You know what I mean? Doing this thing still. Shout out to Zepeda. Styles make fights. And he gonna fight Shakur Stevenson as he should. He deserved his right. He been a WBC interim champion for what it's worth. He's stepped up. He's fought former champions, and it's his time. He 30 something, and like I say, hell, he ain't getting no younger, but hell, he can't get no more wins. He got 33 wins. Shit, when he gonna get a shot? You feel me? He done stepped up in competition. Excuse me. So he about right deserving, and I think it pose a challenge to Shakur, and they give him ready because Shakur when he fighting guys that brings it to him, that's when he at his best. That really brings it to him. So shout out to them guys last night. Now, I'm gonna get into a couple comments, then I'm gonna go back into more oratory. You hear me? I'm got more stuff to talk about. Cardo TV, appreciate you in the chat. Vegan, La D. Let me see. I'm going to the top. Appreciate everybody. It's Super Sunday, boy. It's your boy Bernie the Boxer. I say, did you miss me? Akeem the Greasy, Bigger BX, Downtown Funk. 402, just a guy. Do a couple things for me. I got 59 in the chat right now. Do a couple things. Like, subscribe, share. I'm on my DB3 shit. You feel me? See my boy Keyshawn going up for the first title offense against De La Santos. They talking shit about it, but I'm going to talk about it. Okay. Lou says, what's up, Bernie? Shout out to you and the crew. Yeah. Abracadabra, SB Aladocious, Town Biz, Sports Entertainment says, what's up, Bernie? Appreciate you. Wow, we smoke. Hell no, you stupid as hell for that, boy. Oh my God.
What's up, Jack?
What's up, son? Corey Boy Davis. The oldest just came in the crib. Here's what he say. I got grounded today. My mom called me beat. Oh my, why y'all bring that dumbass shit in here to me? Leo, what's good? Could get a bunch of girls with that. Okay. So anyway. Oh, shout out to Shushu. Shushu did his thing last night. Shushu talking real confidently right now, and he got the stoppage. He been getting a lot of flack about the win, the close fight that he fought against the African. But, he made it through. You know what I'm saying? He made it through. That was a test. He can only grow from that. Like I say, losses ain't losses, they lessons. He didn't lose. He came up in a tough fight. He got his hand raised. That's what Midge always say. Did he get his hand raised? Who got his hand raised? You feel me? Shushu got his hand raised and on to the next. Now, the champions right now is pretty good champions. I don't know where to rate them all at 26, but they all pretty solid. Fulton the most experienced, and probably the most accomplished for sure, and probably the best right now out of the champions. Nick Ball, I'm not really impressed. He's got that come forward style, that action style. Not really impressed with Nick Ball. We got that was a WBA champion. Angelo Leo's a decent champion. Knocking out Alberto Lopez in a spectacular win in an underdog victory. And Leo is a good fighter. Beat Tremaine Williams, who's I think is a top talent. And just things didn't fall his way. But to win the championship, and so he's a two-way world champion. Who else we had? That was WBC. That was the IBF. WBC is Fulton. WBA is Nick Ball. And WO. Okay. Oh my God, we got that other fella. We got that Rafael Espinoza. You understand? That wrecking ball machine. That 6'1" monster from Mexico. You understand? That's putting it into careers. and can box his ass off. So, no, I think he's the most dangerous guy for real. But Fulton, I would say, definitely is the most accomplished by way of being a two-division champion and all the other type of thing that he's done. Shout out to Stephen Fulton. But like I say, Shushu is right there. He's asking for a shot. You know what I mean? You would think he was going with an in-house shot with Espinoza. But as he just stated, Espinoza is not looking to fight him. I don't know. I don't understand why would Espinoza not want to fight him for real. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a champion. He seemed like a fighting champion. And I don't know. But, Shushu is a dangerous guy. But like I say, the sky's the limit for Shushu. He ain't getting no slouch. Either one of them champions he get is going to be a well-deserved championship if he become victorious in that. But shout out to Shushu, man. People a lot of talking stuff about Shushu, but that's all I want to say about the business of boxing. Shushu is a very charismatic fighter. Shushu is an entertaining fighter. Shushu is a go-get-him fighter. He lets his hands go. He's swinging for the fences. And he know how to talk. Like I say, he's very charismatic. He know what to say. He know how to say it. And he knows how to fight, which is a recipe. Also, Shushu is very accomplished. Shushu is not that big of a guy. He's a 26-pounder, but he was a national Golden Glove champion. I think maybe a two-weight national Golden Glove champion, but he could have really made the Olympic team. He was a national Golden Glove champion, 141 pounds. He was a top amateur. He was probably one of the most feared amateurs in the lower weight class. Beating Duke Reagans and all the small guys, which I wouldn't know, but those guys of his time. Shushu really was the guy around that division. He just turned pro at an earlier age or just skipped all the tournaments because, things changed. The way the USA boxing shit set up. Just like my boy Keon. You know what I'm saying? Juice Man. Shout out to Juice Man. Olympic trials champ. We should have been on the team. We should have been fighting for the Americas. We should have been, you understand? But listen, it's the politics, okay? So boxing is the business and things is not always as they seem. So, but anyway, like I say, Shushu is an accomplished guy. He's a well-schooled guy. You know what I'm saying? Definitely learning in the pro ranks, but, he's on his way up. And again, it's business. He know how to sell himself. He know how to talk. And he know how to fight. Get a man a shot. Stop hating on a man. Honey, if he don't make it, he don't make it. But damn, give him his shot. Who else is it around this motherfucker? These motherfuckers ain't doing nothing. These motherfuckers ain't talking. These motherfuckers ain't doing nothing. You understand? God damn. Get a man that's trying to do something that's willing. Fuck, at least he willing. Shit. At least he willing. He ain't trying to hide behind nothing. At least he willing. Jesus. All right. Like I say, and the thing about with the European guys, everybody loving them, want to get them shots right off the rip because they had 300 fights. But America's is the most produced, the best boxers historically in America. The American system produced the best boxers, and until this point system shit, we was winning every fucking thing. Until this point system shit, we was winning every fucking thing. All right, go back, do your history. We was winning all the gold medals in boxing before the point system shit, okay? So like I said, these guys come up under the American system, been fighting all these different type of styles in these last 25 years, 30 years, whenever they put the point system in, and been faring it, at least in the tops. We ain't just been getting blowed out, But again, like I say, the American system always been a dominant system. These guys come up in the American system. These guys fighting in the American gyms. These fight even, and they getting to work with these foreigners because they all coming over. So they getting the experience, you understand? And they excelling. Okay, they champions in their own right. Give them a shot and stop fucking hating, you fucking bums. Know something about boxing. You feel me? All right. So now, what I want to say as well. And then, like I say, who they want. It's they put their guys who they want up there. All right. Couple more comments, then I'm going to get to my next topic. Terrence Smith says, yo, Bernie. Gabrielle says, hola, papi. Okay. Who come with this gay? Please. Oh, my God. Black Disrespectful says, he's a Walmart cashier. Puerto Rico in the building. Viva Puerto Rico. Come on, T, man. He ain't scared of no boots, man. Like I say, the man got to make some money. He got to get his shot at the title. He got to make some money off of that shit, man. He said he wanted boots next time. Now he got to change your heart. Hey, that's how it be. You get a change of heart sometimes too. Don't we all? Via Cash is after September 13th, Bud going to be Canelo's favorite boxer. What's good, Bernie? Appreciate you. One of my long time standing supporters. You hear me? All right. Slow Fast says, how many boxing matches you won? Lala D says, Bernie, you need at least one One mod, not saying myself, but pick someone. I don't know what that means. Terrence Smith says Norman trying to fight the Asian fighter now instead of unifying with Boots. He said he wanted Boots after Derek Quavis. Now he's making excuses. Ah, man. Okay. Anyway. All right. So listen. So now we was talking. It was some more stuff going on. It was some things about going on about Bud about in the Henry Armstrong debate, which he said it was Henry Armstrong like, which is very Henry Armstrong esque. You understand? You know, these it's a different time right now. You know, and a lot of these guys that's talking about that are not even versed in that, have not even immersed themselves in their mind and their spirit into a Henry Armstrong, into these type of fighters. You know, they just read them, look at them, and never really take them in. A lot of them just doing a lot of talking. But you know, I was thinking about Crawford, and it's sometimes because they're in the past, we tend to put them up in a place where they can't be reached. And the guys that we have here, we figure since we can touch them and we can reach them, that they're not the same. So they have to be gone almost to be appreciated, you know. But like I say, when we talking about a guy like Crawford, you know, his resume speaks for itself. He beat the best and he came through with flying colors in every contest, and really truly has never been seriously challenged, you know. So you know, you got to say that in itself, meaning that got to speak volumes in itself. When we talking about world champions, you know, it's a fair playing ground. These guys ain't given the title, you know what I mean? So, but again, you know, we talking about Henry Armstrong. We going into the challenge of Canelo. You know, again, you talking about a guy who's a well versed champion. You know, a well rounded champion and a big strong champion. You know, all the things that he said, even at the same time, we talking about a faded Kovalev. You know, he still had a lot of talent. He still was big, and he still had a lot of skills and a lot of experience. And Canelo overcame that. You know, the fights with the Lara. You know, all these different things that Canelo has accomplished, you can't take it away. Again, like I say, these guys he beat was world champions. These guys had gained steam on their own to rise out in their own way, you know, to stand out. You know, each and every one of them. James Kirkland was knocking guys out. You know, like I say, Amir Khan, he did his thing at a certain point. You know, so these guys that Canelo beat, you know, they was world champions, world class guys, and they had a history of winning over time. Now, for a guy like Crawford, who is in the same boat, but to go up and beat this guy, you know, like I say, coming up 3 weight classes, how can you not root for a guy like that? How can he not get no credit for it? And how can you not even believe it can happen with a guy like Crawford in his history and his resume being his track record? Let me say it like that: his track record. You know, when the occasion comes, he rises to the occasion and above. You know, he goes above and beyond. So, you know, when they talking about Henry Armstrong, that's what Henry Armstrong did. You know, Henry Armstrong, he did go from featherweight to welterweight. But again, the guy he beat pretty much was a former welterweight, former lightweight, former featherweight, you know, when Barney Ross was a small guy who moved up, you know. So Crawford is a multi weight champion, you know. That is Henry Armstrong light, you know. So, you know, again, we got to stop trying to devalue these guys, you know, especially a guy like Crawford. Like I say, one of the most avoided champions in the history of boxing. Since you can't even think of no avoided champion since Rigondeaux, for real. Then we talking about a guy who knocks people out. Rigondeaux was a boxer and a mover. You understand? Crawford is a go-get-you type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He can take it and he can give it. You understand? Like I said, yeah, you seen him buzz, but he took it and he came back, you know, more devastating, like a Felix Trinidad. Felix Trinidad was dropped I don't know how many times. Sweet Pete Whitaker was dropped I don't know how many times. You understand? Come on now. Crawford ain't been dropped. You talking about these guys been cold dropped, flat out. Crawford ain't never been dropped. He been wobbled. There ain't no question about it. He been buzzed. And if you any kind of boxer, you been buzzed. If you been boxing any type of way for any type of time, you been buzzed. You understand? Okay. They keep talking about Canelo. He been buzzed. Yeah, he been buzzed. That boy caught him off guard and buzzed him. You feel me? He ain't had a been chance to. Lara ran from him. You understand? Bivol tapped him to damn death. Bivol never stood to try to fight him and try to hurt him. And I'm sure he did buzz him. Come on now. All right, so listen. We talking about Crawford. We talking about the best. You know, we talking about one of the most feared guys, one of the most dangerous guys, one of the most entertaining guys. You understand? Now, like I say, you know, for whatever reason, the people don't want him. Like I say, sometimes they want the people. Just because you the best don't mean they want you. It ain't because you the best. Sometimes they don't want the best. They want who they want. Like I say, they wanted an Earl Spence. They didn't want a Crawford. You feel me? They had a certain look. They had a certain thing they was looking for. And sometimes the best don't fit that mold. You feel me? Like I say, and I guess that been Crawford his whole life. You know, however it is, whatever it is, it been Crawford his whole life. But all he ever did was rise to the occasion. So at least y'all can do, like I say, come on, most of y'all bums. Most of y'all bums are the ones talking. Most of y'all bums and underdogs. You motherfuckers ain't the favorite. That's why you talking like that. You motherfuckers ain't the favorite. You motherfuckers is underdog, but you wish you was the favorite. You feel like you, come on, man. Like I say, how can you not root for a guy like that? Clean slate, bums. Clean slate. Everything you could think about in boxing. But you still don't want that man to have it. I don't know why, but listen. Come September 13th, Lord willing, this guy get past William Skull, who, like I say, come from the Cuban School of Boxing, who is a world champion. We can't say that. The guy he fought made it out of somewhere. Hey, listen, he's a world champion. Okay? Lord willing, he come through this guy, beat William Skull. September 13th, it's over now. Like I say, it's over. And that's the type of guy Crawford, that's the type of guy he is. The one you think was the one, then Crawford come and take it over. You know, it wasn't so. Now, as much as Canelo would accomplish, tremendous. Can't even say. He's so far up there, like I say, this going to put, for however it is, going to put a dent in him. It's going to put a dent in him somehow. You know what I'm saying? It's going to put a dent in him somehow, you know, because Crawford's so small and as much as he can accomplish, and like I say, Crawford's so small, it's going to put a dent in him. And who going to put that dent in? Crawford going to put that dent in him. It's just the way it is. Huh? Dreams do come true, huh? And sometimes the script get flipped. And that's what Crawford do. So shout out to my boy Crawford. You understand? Shout out to Team Crawford as a whole. You understand? The B&B stable. Shout out to him. You understand? You understand? We going, hold up. How much we is this? Okay, we did lose the close fight with the Soko. We lost that one. But we got Ali Taha doing this thing. We had who else we had over there? We had who else the other kid that we had? We had Alan Pardino doing his thing. You understand? We had ABS Griffin do his thing out there. We had the businessman do his thing. We had Night Davis do his thing. We had Lester Martinez do his thing. We had Charles Lolo Harris do his thing. Am I missing anybody? I don't know, but come on, man. Huh? The best team in boxing. Huh? Y'all better recognize. Y'all didn't come see us on Pro Box. Y'all better step it up, man. We was on Pro Box. Come on, man. All right. Shout out to B&B as a whole. Like I say, shout out to that boy, Bud Crawford. We gonna do history, man. Come on, you gotta go to the. You can't go with the underdog. Like I say, man. I respect Canelo Alvarez, and that fella was talking a lot of stuff on there. Right, that's right. That's why when we beat him, you got to give us credit, and you got to give Canelo credit. Because, like I say, Crawford ain't no easy out for nobody. This guy is coming to win. Straight up. He ain't coming to show no, he ain't giving no respect. He ain't showing no love. Huh? To after the fight. Huh? It's only respect, but we coming to take that. All right. So then who else we got in here? All right, it's Bernie the Boxer. We chopping it up. He says, Bernie, what do you say? Bernie, do you think nowadays they give the pound for pound title too quick to fighters? Well, not the mantle. You know what I'm saying? You usually gotta work for that. And usually all the pound for pound guys, they usually deserved it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, in recent years you had the Inoue going up. You had the Canelo and Bud type of thing. You know what I'm saying? For a long time you had Bud. It was just Bud. He was just outright. You know, for a while it was Canelo Alvarez pretty much. You know, but I think they always get the top ones right. But again, you got these guys that we talking about is the top guys in and around probably in their weights. You know, so they might not be the most popular guys, but we talking about pound for pound in the skill set. You know, so I definitely. But when I'm thinking like that, you know, you got to go with a guy like Usyk. You know, he's got to be up there, you know, well-rounded. Bam Rodriguez, well-rounded. You know, Shakur Stevenson, well-rounded. You know, like I say, Crawford, of course. You know, Lomachenko was at the time. Um, I think so. So no, I think these guys they have a good list. Maybe they leave out some of the smaller guys. They don't put some of those guys in it. Some of them guys, like I say, you got a Bam Rodriguez is in there, but maybe some of the smaller guys, even other than that they don't put in there. But no, I think the pound for pound rankings is pretty just. I think it's pretty just. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, the cream ain't the best, ain't hard to spot, but where do they rank? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's some that, like I say, it took a little time for Shakur to get on there. But he's a three-way world champion. I wouldn't say they quick to put him up there, but being the pound for pound best, I don't know. And maybe it could be subjective too. We have to go over that list and try to figure out, you know what I'm saying, who was on there, and we could chop it up like that. Appreciate the question though. He says, Marv the Prince says, Tevin Farmer put two hell of performance up against Zepeda. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, but he didn't get his hand raised. And I think he do holds a lot. I said that to myself. And before I read a comment about it, I want to say, stop holding. But it's boxing, I only can talk about, I'm a hold motherfucker too. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be holding too for real. You know what I'm saying? Make them reset type of shit. But I would work on my craft to roll my shoulders, to catch, to counter, to work on the inside and maybe separate. So that's part of the game. You just gotta, and that's what the eliteness come with it, where you don't have to hold. You know how to fight on the inside. You know how to position your body to roll and catch punches and fight on the inside and where you don't have to hold. At least not excessively, because at some point you're gonna hold. Melio Vargas want that key smoke. I don't know just yet. D says true. It's harder for them to get stoppages too, I think. Kelly Kill says Bernie, Bud can't win. If he beat, hurt, or drop Canelo, they're going to say it's the snack. You can't make this shit up. Let's go, Bud. Like I say, when Bud wins, it's emphatic. So definitely he can win. And Bud didn't pass all his tests. You know what I mean? They didn't had VADA. He's under VADA testing. So you know what I'm saying? He didn't pass all them. So that's it. You know what I mean? If VADA, everybody keep talking about VADA. Mayweather's a big VADA supporter. Everybody talking about VADA, and Bud is definitely enrolled in VADA. And that's it. Clean athlete. Because that's the type of guy. Yeah, Crawford just want to win. Like I say, they talking about the money. It wasn't about the fucking money. The money, yes, definitely. But it was, okay, they said, they motherfuckers think I could beat them? Like, yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'm small. Maybe, it's weight class for a reason, yada, yada, yada. Okay. But motherfuckers think I could beat them. Damn. I bet I probably could beat them then. Maybe let me start thinking more in terms of, damn, maybe I'm not too small. Yeah, let me start thinking of other shit that, like I say, he 5'8", I'm 5'8". Shit, my reach is, much as his, if not longer. He came up. He's a smaller guy coming up. I think I could do that shit. Yeah. Okay. So he fumbled in his head. Like I say, he called me right after the Spence fight. Right after the Spence fight. That's what he called me personal. Called me personal. Said, Bernard, I can beat him. I said, who? He said, Canelo. I done dreamed about it. I done thought about it. And I can beat him. He done seen himself winning already. He already seen it already. And that's what you got to do. He believe in the Lord. The man that gave him the vision. Now it's time to put the pen to the pad. Go to work. You understand? We done laid the blueprint. We done studied them out. They already got the map. We already mapped him. Just like if it had been Mayweather's, we already got him mapped out. Know every move he gonna make. So be ready for everything. You understand? Lord willing, we come through with the great, the camp go through, no injuries and anything else that can come. His ass is whooped. September 13, we looking at a 3-division male undisputed champion. No vacant titles. You understand? Beating the champs. Going up weight classes. Henry Armstrong shit. To circle back around. You understand? Henry Armstrong shit. So no matter how you slice it, you feel me? Actually even greater. Because these guys are staying in a way. He didn't pass 47. He wasn't lightweight. Moved all the way up. So if we say that to 54, all right, so now we're going to 68. We're going up 2 more weight class. Like I say, 54 ain't even 60. 54 ain't even 60. We still got a few pounds to make. So like I say, he go up there and beat this guy. Come on, man. You got to, like I say, this guy settle into the weight. Man, you got to give him credit, and we gonna do it. Huh? All right. I appreciate you, Kelly Kill. Say the same thing over and over. What do you say? Can't make this shit up. Okay, I appreciate you. He said that he got that comment 1,000 times. You didn't paste that shit to my shit 1,000 times. Wow. Okay. Thick Vegan Afro says, "Hey guys, don't forget you can block the slow people from the eyes clicking on their name." Okay. Some tips, man, for new amateur boxers. Since the style is so crazy, I won't know. But if I could say anything to a boxer, is get your feet right, get your position right. Make sure you got the right leverage on your punches, and that you're in position to punch and transition to your defense. You're in the transition from defense to offense. Try to really ingrain it into your head of being able to transition from offense to defense, making sure your feet is in the proper position when you're punching, when you're moving, make sure your feet is in the proper position, and use your jab. You can never overuse it. Use your jab. Now, when you're using your jab, this is just for everybody. When you're using your jab, you can't overuse it in a sense that you're tired and it's not coming out the way it should. You can easily get countered using your jab. You're not changing your height with your jab. You're not changing the rhythm with your jab. You're not changing, your like I say, what we call your levels with your jab. But your jab is the key. Use your damn jab. Use your damn jab. Okay, Cardio TV says, what do you think about Norman versus Boots? That's the best fight in the division. No, Boots versus Norman is the best fight in the division. Like I say, Brian Norman the hardest puncher in the division by far. Norman is the hardest puncher in the division. Hands down. He knocking bums out. Brian Norman knocking bums out. Ain't nobody else knocking nobody out. Brian Norman knocking bums out. I'm going with Brian Norman. Brian Norman got the ultimate the ultimate equalizer. He got the punch and he got the speed. Now, what I want to say about Brian Norman too, though, they did say about his rustiness, but Brian Norman looked the same every time. Pretty much. He just a rugged type of guy. Maybe I would tell him to shorten his hook up and try to work on his jab a little bit. I heard him say it in the interview. But I didn't really see that in him. But Brian Norman can punch, and the way he 2-1 that guy, like I said, Bernard, shut your ass up. He knocking bums out. You feel me? But from a technique standpoint, I definitely would like to see him use his jab a little bit more. I would like to see him put it in a little different more spots. Like I say, I done said it 1,000 times like a broken record. Put your jab in different spots. Throw it here, throw it there. Use his jab a little bit more. And that's what I would say about Brian Norman. I know he got all kind of shit when he get to going. He throw that uppercut on you. You know what I mean? He got that looping right hand. Maybe he could shorten it up, but he's a compact fighter. He's a power puncher. Brian Norman is a power puncher. Let's get that understood, matter of fact. We keep trying to make him out to a boxer, or I'm trying to make him out to be a boxer, but he's a power puncher. So definitely I would say set up his jab and shorten up his hook. If he's going to be a power puncher and get a little bit more head movement in there to set up his power. Now, Michaela Mayer, thinking about that. Michaela, she was kind of driving me nuts because I think she was giving up too much of her head. She was giving up too much when she was stabbing to the body. I didn't like the way she was stabbing to the body. I thought she was giving up too much to be countered when she was stabbing to the body. So I would say she should change that. She can work on that. All right. Real Malachi Boxing. Okay, appreciate you, Malachi. He says, what up, Bernie? Congratulations on all the BNB success. This is Malachi. I came out to spar with Keon a couple months ago. Y'all came out to spar with Keon. Okay, came out a couple months. Y'all got some Omaha. Y'all got some in Omaha this week. We in Omaha. We in the town. Juice Man should be landing pretty soon. I'm not sure. They say he's supposed to be making. Plus, we got Jamar Talley out here. You understand? We got the Talley boy up here. You know what I mean? Out of Camden. You feel me? Stand up. You feel me? 1-0. B&B stablemate heavyweight. You hear me? Shout out to my boy Talley boy. Okay, Tony UK says hello from the UK. Tate Freeman says, why do wig on crooked? Chad, he's running. I don't know what they talking about. Okay. Thick Vegan Agri said, yes, we miss you, Bernie. Glad to see you back, champ. Appreciate you. Good job with Kelvin. Yeah. Kelvin was hitting that man to a standstill. Night Davis hit hard, man. He know it too. That's why he was just trying to knock that boy dead, man. Like I said, he had that man on stilts, man. Night Davis hit hard, man. He really trying to get you out of there. Kelvin, for what it is, he can box his ass off. And man, like I say, I loved his enthusiasm. He had so much enthusiasm throughout this training camp. And he was on his toes. He was popping that jab. He was popping that counter straight left hand. He was doing all kind of stuff. But he's a warrior too. And when he gets in there, he likes to bang. And when he hurts you, he just fall in love with that. And Night Davis, boy, he's a hard puncher, boy. He was knocking that boy dead, boy. Oh my God, Night Davis. Like I said, he got the eagle eye too. Listen, everything might not come out textbook, but when they feel that power, they change their minds. You understand? They change their mind. You hear me? They change their mind and make them think different, man. That's why Night Davis, man. Night Davis, like I say, might not come out textbook, but ooh, he can hit like a mule. KBM Michael says, "What's up, B? Who's your Final Four pick?" Don't know. We tried to watch. We was watching Auburn versus Michigan, I think, and they didn't start out good, but they pulled through. They knocked us. They knocked the Blue Jays out, knocked the hometown out, and so I don't really know. I think Duke. I've been getting a lot of reads say Duke. They think gonna do it. My barber think Houston gonna do it. So I don't really know. I tried to watch it, but I kept turning on boxing news. Okay. Are your raccoons still on crack? Oh, what is they talking about? Gut says hi. Chris Legg says Key is the best at 35. I am just gonna get stronger as he gets bigger. Definitely Keyshawn is a major player at 168 as 135 pounds, excuse me. Definitely I didn't like the way they was talking. Matter of fact, made me think about they kind of did like Tim Bradley them try to do like a I don't think was it Tim Bradley? It was one of them on that telecast last night. Try to throw a little shade, try to say a little funny shit about guys now they friends and everything. And I didn't like that shit. You know what I mean? For real, because like I say, Keyshawn is definitely a high level talent and a star. You know what I mean? And I hope he's only going to get bigger and better. But again, we got to stop the nonsense about these guys fighting. Boxing and everything, competition and everything, and things like that. Some things supersede that, and I ain't gonna say it no more. Loyalty, morals, values. All those things supersede your money, your fame, your accomplishments, things like that. Like I say, once you gone, all that shit ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna be how you died. It's gonna be how you live. And so, when somebody is there for you in dark, trying times, in no situation do you ever wanna. I wouldn't think for no amount of money, for no amount of glory, for no amount of riches, for no amount of accolades, would you want to put a halt to that or stand in their way? You understand? For whatever it is, So these guys then cried together. They done stayed together. They really been down, really living together, shoulder to shoulder, and spiritually, mentally, and physically. So, the fact that these guys is just in the division only makes that division that much more talented. You got Shakur Stevenson, who's a virtuoso. You got Keyshawn Davis, who had all the charisma and all the pizzazz in the world and super entertaining. You got Lomachenko, the agent warrior. The virtuoso as well in his own right. But again, the agent warrior. And you got Tank Davis. A virtuoso in his own right. The knockout puncher. The underrated boxer. So the lightweight division is a glamour division right now. It's probably the most talented and diverse division in boxing right now. So again, like I say, Keyshawn is one of the best fighters right now. But the fight we do want to see for sure is Shakur versus Tank. When we gonna see it, man? Come on. Jack Fuego says, Bernie, do you think they gonna get it? Okay, said that. All right. I say appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Red is good. Okay, Shushu was the Olympian, but replaced by Duke because Duke had more international points. Say it again, Red. See what I'm saying? You got okay. Appreciate you. Shout out to my boy Red. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate, man. Can't wait to you in the recovery. Everybody give my boy Red a shout out. You know what I'm saying? Send the boy some love. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Definitely miss you. You know what I mean? And all your brainiac knowledge in the sport of boxing. You know what I mean? Again, you know what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I mean? They call us the Reverend in the Deep. That's why I need him with me. You feel me? Listen. We gonna have the baddest boxing show in the world. I swear to God. We gonna have the baddest boxing show in the world. That's why I'm doing my show. You see me, catch me with Mill City. You catch me on these shows, but you know what I'm saying? Bernie the Boxer is yours truly. We ain't going nowhere. You hear me? But again, like I say, like Breadman, he writes. You understand? I do my podcast thing. You know what I'm saying? And we train fighters. That's where we at heart. You understand? We train fighters, so we at work. You know what I mean? But like I say, as long as you keep seeing his face and keep hearing his voice, we gonna keep going. You understand? Ain't gonna never let you forget about me, huh? Or us. You hear me? Okay, so we going up. We going up. We gonna have the baddest thing. But like I say, you heard what Red said. You feel me? If you was in the comments, reading the comments, like he said, he was the Olympian, but Duke Reagan had more international points. Nobody wanted with Shushu. He was the killer around these parts. All right. Shout out to my boy Red Spikes for real. Showed up, man. I'm trying to tell you. In the clutch. Pancho Villa says, what do you think, fam? How do you feel about the Zepeda victory? He won. Can't say nothing else about it. Off says, yo, you look like Diddy back in... Man, what the fuck these niggas be talking about? I swear to God. James Peter says, we need real people in the ring magazines to represent us. True story. Yo, boy Mambo. Do a couple things for me. Like, subscribe, share. My boy just a guy. He won't let it quit. He won't stop. Like, subscribe, share on my DB3 shit. All right. All right. Chris Lay said Crawford is top 10 greatest ever right now. When he beats Canelo and goes 3-time undisputed, he's top 3 of all time. You know, a lot of things too going on about the all-time great. It's not just about accomplishments, I don't think. You know, accomplishments go along with it. But, you know, it's the way you made people feel. It's the excitement in the fights. It's other things that go along with it. And Crawford is definitely, you know, he's definitely, in the short span that he's been, he's done all that, you know. And when you talk about some of the best boxers, you know, because they don't talk about the old fighters right now. We talking about Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, that was almost 50 years ago. We talking about Sweet Pea Whitaker. We talking about almost 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So these guys, you know, Crawford just got to get his time in. You know, Crawford just got to get his time in. And when it comes time, they're gonna be talking about Crawford because and it's gonna go so forth and so forth. When you ever talk about Armstrong, you're gonna go up the ladder and you're gonna go up the list and you're gonna talk about Bud Crawford because he was that guy. You understand? The best ain't hard to spot. And again, like I say, once he beat a guy like Canelo, who not only is an accomplished guy in the sport, but his crossover and mainstream appeal, which has transcended him into another level, you know what I'm saying, makes his notoriety that much more bigger. And Crawford's beating him, he takes on some of that, a lot of that. You understand? So you ain't going to be able to leave a guy out like Crawford. Shout out to Bud Crawford. You feel me? Huh? From nothing to something. Huh? Rolls in the concrete. Bums. September 13th, we coming for it all. We coming for it all. It ain't about the money. Like he said, when I had this formulating into my opinion, I mean, I can beat this guy. Yeah, I could beat this guy. Still got a heartbeat for boxing. Still got a love for fighting. They say this about Rocky Marciano. He said, I like this title that I hold. I like being named Man of the Year. And I still like to fight. God bless you, champ. All right. James Peter says, we love him. King Bull all day, every day, even on Sunday. Pound for pound, king of boxing. That's right. Hershey says, Bernie the Boxer, love from the UK. Pancho Villa says, well, Canelo almost got knocked down like 15 years back, fam. Like I said, I hope Crawford wins. I just feel he's going about it the wrong way. How you think he's going about it the wrong way? You don't even know how he's going about it. BBO Boxing TV. Salute, Bernie. Shout out to my boy, matter of fact, shout out to Sauce Boxing News. You feel me? Shout out to my boy Jahai Tucker. It was a pleasure working out with him in there. Shout out to my boy Manny Chance. You know, some from Jersey out there. Just made his debut, signed with Top Rank. Amateur standout. Did his thing last night, too. You know what I mean? Like I say, we all in the same gang. We all in the same family. I call us Murderers Row. Shout out to them guys. Like, again, Tiger Johnson last night. You know, did his thing last night. Stopped the boy, moved up to 147. Think he a lot more happier at 147. Got the stoppage. You know what I mean? Former Olympian. You know what I mean? Contender, going to contender status, going out of prospect status. Shout out to the whole team over there, Prentice Brewer, my boy. Shout out to my boy Ramon. You know what I'm saying? Matthews doing with the pad work. You feel me? Yeah. He said we all in the same gang. It take a village. It takes a village. OMVR9 said, no, he's not. Canelo's a flat-footed, non-athletic, one-dimensional fighter. A jab and footwork is all it takes. So it's a legacy-defining fight for God Crawford. Let's go, Crawford. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But with all his shortcomings, he still managed to be one of the pound-for-pound kings of boxing and accomplish so much. So you know what I mean? They would just said it today. The Lord made you just the way you is. You know what I mean? And what you can do with what you have determines your greatness and your success. You know that's the true thing is what can you do? Can you make what you work with what you got? Let me say that. How far can you take what you got to the highest level? And Canelo, for his flat-footed, non-athletic, one-dimensional style, has taken it to the very top. One of the most richest fighters in the history of boxing, and can't nothing to say nothing about no Canelo. R994 LT says, you like Corvettes. I have a rare 1994. Okay. Yeah, I love Vettys. Okay. Crawford, Chris Lay said, Crawford is a family man, a good role model. America doesn't support the black image. That's why they never give him his credit or promote him like they should. True story. True story. True story. True story. You can't say it no more. And like I say, as much as we say we again, which I said, I've been said it before, as much as the good version or the apple pie and the life is sweet, they don't then once they try to act like they promote that, they really want the nonsense. And that's just true story about it all. They just really want the nonsense. This is a devilish country. It's a sad and a terrible place. And that just is what it is. It is. They say 250 years. They celebrate 250 years, and we celebrate 250 years of havoc, you know. And that's the American way. They all they want is buffoonery and nonsense. A good ethic, moral decency, stand-up, steadfastness, different things like all the shit that the Lord care about that matters. They don't care about that shit. You understand? They don't care about that. And once you can't do nothing for them, they throw you away, no matter how good you is. You understand? Because they terrible. But anyway, we done found our way through this this thing we call America, and this thing we weaving our way through this thing we call life. You understand? And that's just one. My dad always say, it's 8 million stories in the naked city, and that's just one of them, huh? He say we can slow down, but we can't quit. We got to keep rolling on, and I'm going to do that. Okay, so like I said, I ain't going to hold y'all too much, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to turn this thing up. We're going to be off the road for a little bit. We in the city, holding it down at the B&B Boxing Academy. We got the Golden Gloves going up. We got Carlito Garibo, one of the top amateurs in the country right now, getting ready. We got Adonis, I forgot his last name, but a badass 165-pounder going up. Who else we got? We got a couple novices going up, and the gym is flourishing, but definitely Carlito Garibo going up. We got the fights going up May 3rd. We got Alan Pardino going up, lightweight star, 140-pound star, making his way up in the second fight or third fight, I think. So good things is going up, and we in the city, and I'm glad to be home. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're in the city, if you're in the area, come by. If you need your kids to learn something about some boxing, bring them to the city. Bring them down to the gym. We there from 5 to 7, 8 through Monday through Friday. You hear me? Group sessions. You hear me? Always hands on. Okay. Shout out to us, Hugh. Shout out to everybody holding the gym down as a whole. Johnny, you hear me? Okay. All right. So listen, I ain't gonna say no more, man. I said I'm gone. I'm gone. Hope that you miss me.